that brought him to Los Angeles. And by that time, the temple president, Satsvarupa Das, recommended me for initiation, and Srila Prabhupada initiated me. Well, he was in Los Angeles, and I was in Boston. And every day we would go out on Harinam Sankirtan. And one day, just a little after Satsvarupa, well, he was Grihastha then, Satsvarupa Prabhu recommended me, I felt some, say, divine presence descend on me, and I just realized, I mean, not just as a theoretical concept, but I realized that I was not the body. I just was not the body. And I started to weep, and so I asked the devotees, do you think that maybe I was being initiated at that moment? And they thought, yes, that's very possible. And then a few days later, I got my beads and my initiation letter. And in the initiation letter, Srila Prabhupada wrote that Giriraja is a name for the Govardhan mountain, where Krishna used to tend his cows. And sometimes devotees take a stone from that mountain and worship it as a representation of Krishna. Now, before I joined, I and other members of my generation were quite proud of our family name, Teton, because there are some mountains, the Grand Teton Mountains, Grand Teton National Park. Even the other day I was on the phone with someone, some business I was doing, maybe with the airlines. And so I said, my name is Glenn Teton. Oh, like the mountains. So I was very proud of that name. And then I got my initiation letter, and Srila Prabhupada said, Giriraja is the name of the Govardhan mountain. So I thought, wow, I got to keep my mountain name. But I got a much better mountain. Much better mountain. So this is all, it's sort of hard to say which comes first. It's sort of like, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, by the mercy of Krishna one gets Guru, and by the mercy of Guru one gets Krishna. But definitely it's by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we have come to know about Lord Nityananda. And I was also thinking upstairs in his quarters just now how it was really his obedience to his spiritual master's order that he should preach Krishna consciousness in the English language in the Western world, that brought Srila Prabhupada here. And that in turn has brought all of us here. So, yes, he's certainly, representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the original spiritual master. And so our spiritual master, our spiritual masters are representatives of him. So I'll read a few verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is a very important book. All of Srila Prabhupada's books are important. Usually we start in terms of progression with Ishopanishad, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Nectar of Devotion, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And to understand Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, we first have to understand Lord Krishna and Balaram. So according to Vedic scriptures, and Srila Jiva Goswami in particular has given elaborate proofs as to why Srimad Bhagavatam is the supermost evidence among all Vedic literatures. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the absolute truth, first of all, what is the absolute truth? Janmadhyasya. The absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. And then the Bhagavan goes on to describe that absolute truth is Krishna. And Krishna expands himself, not in the sense, of course he can do that, he can also get bigger, but expands himself into expansions. Brahma Samhita gives the example that with one candle you can light a second candle, and from the second candle you can light a third candle, and so on. And they all are the same, they all have the same candle power, but there's still one original candle, and the original candle is Krishna. And the next candle, the first one, after Krishna, is Balaram. And Balaram is the original spiritual master, because the spiritual master has two functions. One is to serve Krishna, and the other is to give knowledge of Krishna. And Balaram does both. Once in Calcutta, Srila Prabhupada asked, what is the duty of the spiritual master? And then he gave the answer, to serve Krishna. And then he asked, what is the duty of the disciple? And he gave the answer, to assist the spiritual master. And he gave the example that the spiritual master installs the deity, and it's his duty to keep the temple clean. Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityananda Shingara Tan Mandira Marjanada. So when the disciples clean the temple, they should think that actually it's their spiritual master's duty, and they are assisting him. So so Krishna appeared about 5,000 years ago, and then about 500 years ago he came again as Lord Chaitanya. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna instructed Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru. Manmana, always think of me, mad bhakta, become my devotee, madhyaji, worship me, mam namaskaru, and offer obeisances unto me. But people did not understand exactly how to follow Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, Krishna came again as Lord Chaitanya to show by his example how to be a devotee of Krishna. And Balaram came as Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is actually Lord Balaram serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mentioned that the duty of the spiritual master is to serve Krishna, and Balaram's pleasure is to serve Krishna. There are 4 primary rasas, or spiritual relationships, that one can have with Krishna. So one is called Vatsalya Ras, that's the parental relationship. One is Sakhya Ras, that's the relationship of friendship, of equals. And one is Dasya Ras, the relationship of servant. And Lord Balaram takes pleasure in serving Krishna in all of these rasas. Because he's the older brother, so there's an element of parental affection. But they're brothers, almost the same age. Balaram is just a little older. And so they have a very friendly relationship, Sakhya Ras. But Balaram is also in the mood of servant, Dasya Ras. But his desire to serve Krishna is so great that he also wanted to serve Krishna in Madhurya Ras, in the conjugal relationship. And therefore he appeared as Ananga Manjari, who is the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, to serve Krishna in Madhurya Ras. Now, previously, Lord Chaitanya, or Krishna, had appeared as Lord Ramachandra, and Balaram had appeared as Lakshman. But in that advent, Lakshman was the younger brother, and he had to do many things that were painful to him, not in the personal sense, but they were painful to him because they caused suffering, at least superficially, or involved suffering for Lord Rama. So after that advent, Lord Balaram, Lakshman, who was playing the part of Lakshman, decided, I don't want to be the younger brother anymore. Because as the younger brother, I always had to do what Lord Ramachandra told me to do, even if it caused Lord Ram pain or suffering. So he became the older brother as Lord Balaram. And in Chaitanya Leela, he was also the older brother. They were not real brothers, as we say, but the relationship was like that. Lord Nityananda was the older brother. And he is known for his extreme, unlimited, unqualified mercy. Even more than Lord Chaitanya. He's known as the Petit Pavan. Well, they all are Petit Pavan, but he's especially the deliverer of the fallen. And there's one beautiful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita composed by the author, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in which he says that that Lord Nityananda, he's always intoxicated in love of Godhead, and he's an ocean of mercy. And he delivers anyone who falls down before him. And therefore he delivered such a wretched soul as me. So, in our own ways we are fallen and wretched. But that's not a disqualification. If we have the qualification of falling down before Lord Nityananda, or the spiritual master, or Lord Nityananda represented by the spiritual master. And then he will deliver us. There was one incident in Bombay, in Juhu. Srila Prabhupada had a disciple who became a little strange. And he started living on Juhu Beach with a yogi. And I forget exactly what he would do, but he would, something like, I don't even know, but something like put a coin in his ear and then it would come out of his mouth. Very strange things. And actually, Srila Prabhupada said what I'm going to quote twice. There was another time, I think this might be a better example, more accessible. One of Srila Prabhupada's early disciples from America had come to India. And he had gone to Calcutta, and he was smoking ganja, which is, I guess, the Indian name for marijuana, or hashish. And so the temple president in Calcutta was concerned and confused about what to do. So he called Srila Prabhupada in Bombay. I happened to be there. And Srila Prabhupada told the temple president, tell him that if he doesn't stop smoking ganja, I will reject him. And after the phone call, Tamal Krishna Goswami asked Srila Prabhupada, is that true, that if he didn't stop, he would reject him? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, it's not true. And then he said, the mercy of Lord Nityananda is unlimited. And the same thing with that devotee who started to live with some yogi on Juhu Beach. Tamal Krishna Goswami said, you know, are you going to reject him? And Srila Prabhupada said no. And Tamal Krishna Goswami said, well, I mean, don't you have to draw the line somewhere? And Srila Prabhupada replied, again, the mercy of Lord Nityananda is unlimited. So this is our line of mercy. On the way here, one devotee named Vishnu Priya Dasi told me that her husband, Chakri Prabhu, had come to join the temple not knowing that it was Nityananda Trayodasi, but he happened to come on Nityananda Trayodasi. And he told the temple authorities he wanted to move in. And they said, well, we don't have any space. But then one of them said, you know, it's Lord Nityananda's appearance day. He is the most merciful. We have to make space. This is Lord Nityananda's mercy, and they did. So that should be our mood. The two, Gaur and Nitai, have so much love for each other that if anyone, I think if anyone develops love for Lord Nityananda or chants the name of Nityananda with love, Lord Chaitanya becomes sold to that person. One famous example of Lord Nityananda's mercy was demonstrated in relation to Jagai and Madhai. Jagai and Madhai were perhaps the most sinful people in history. Yamaraj, who's, you could say, the god of death, the demigod in charge of justice, has a scribe named Chitragupta. And Chitragupta keeps track of all the sinful activities of all the living entities. But he could not keep up with Jagai and Madhai, because as soon as he had finished writing the account of their sinful activities up to that point, they had committed more sinful activities. And it's described that he was almost having a nervous breakdown trying to keep track of their sinful activities. I talk about stress at the office. So Lord Chaitanya, he sent out Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to approach people, and with his order, Bhaja Krishna, worship Krishna, bolo Krishna, chant Krishna's name, and Krishna Sika Koro, follow Krishna's instructions. So Haridas and Nityananda went out, so they thought, well, who should we approach? And they decided we should approach Jagai and Madhai, because they're the most fallen, they're the most sinful. And if we deliver them, then Lord Chaitanya's reputation as the deliverer of the fallen will be increased to no limit. So they approached Jagai and Madhai, who were usually drunk. They would do everything. I don't even need to list, but they would burn people's houses down. They would plunder. They would steal. Even with each other in their drunken state, sometimes they'd bash each other, and so Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur approached them, and they were they reacted very strongly and started to blaspheme them and chase them. To beat them. And as they were running away, Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur exchanged some joking words. And Lord Nityananda said that your master, meaning Lord Chaitanya, look at what trouble we got into following his orders. He's a sannyasi, and he gives orders like a king. And Haridas Thakur replied, well, don't blame Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's your own nature that you wanted to approach them. And now look at the trouble we got in. Oh, anyway, they escaped. But then they went back again. And this time they were the two brothers were so angry in their drunken stupor. Apart from blaspheming Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, one of them, Madhai, took a clay pot and threw it and struck Nityananda Prabhu in the head, causing blood to flow. So news of this incident spread and reached Lord Chaitanya. And when he heard that his beloved Nitai had been injured, he came rushing to the spot with his Sudarshan chakra, that's his weapon, his disc weapon, which he uses to sever the heads of deserving people from their bodies. So he was coming with his Sudarshan disc to kill Jagai and Madhai. Now, at that point, Lord Nityananda intervened, because actually, after Madhai struck him with the pot, he was going to do more. He was going to beat him. And Jagai intervened and he said, what benefit will you get by harming this renunciate? So when Lord Chaitanya came with his Sudarshan chakra to kill them, Lord Nityananda said that Jagai, Madai was ready to beat me, but Jagai intervened on my behalf and stopped him. So when Lord Chaitanya heard that, his heart softened towards Jagai. And he decided, okay, I'm not going to kill him. And then Madhai, he was still on the list. And he said, well, if you're gonna show mercy to him, then you should show mercy to me too. I mean, he and I have been in this together. Every sinful act that I've done, I did with him. So then Lord Chaitanya said, well, if Nityananda forgives you, then I will forgive you. So Nityananda Prabhu forgave them. And Lord Chaitanya said, if you really forgive them, you should embrace them. Nityananda Prabhu embraced them. And they were delivered from all their sinful activities. They became devotees. They surrendered to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. And then that night at the kirtan at Srivas Thakur's home, Lord Chaitanya invited them and he instructed all the devotees, you should accept them as us. Of course, he warned them now. So anyway, and in front of everyone, he accepted all their sinful reactions. And his body turned black. And Srivas Pandit started to smile. And Lord Chaitanya, he knew, of course, he said, why are you smiling? Because he looked just like Shyam Sundar. He became black with all their sinful reactions. So then he accepted them and they became great devotees. But although they were accepted and purified, they still felt very sorry for all of the offenses they had committed towards people. And so they asked, what can we do? I mean, we've offended so many people. We've hurt so many people. We don't even know who they are. So Lord Chaitanya said that you should make a ghat on the bank of the Ganges. And then, people will use that ghat. That ghat is there still. And you'll be doing service to them. And then you wait at the ghat, and whoever comes, you apologize, if you have hurt them in any way, and ask if you can serve them, and ask them to forgive you. So this is Lord Nityananda's mercy that he delivered these two most sinful persons, Jagai and Madhai. And after that, anyway, there's so much to say, but news spread throughout the universe. And it went to Yamaraj. And everyone was so happy they couldn't believe it. They started chanting and dancing in kirtan, Yamaraj and all of his assistants, Chitragupta, it was like amazing. So, so I've said a bit, but yeah, maybe I'll read about his mercy to the author. I'll describe it. I've seen generally devotees prefer when someone speaks. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was having Sankirtan at his home in Jamatpur. And at that Sankirtan festival, one of the great devotees of Lord Nityananda, named Minakatan Ram Das, was sitting in the courtyard. And it said that anyone who sees the eyes of Minakatan Ram Das, tears will automatically flow from his eyes, because there was a constant flow of tears of ecstatic love of Godhead coming from the eyes of Minakatan Ram Das. When I read that, it also reminded me of Srila Prabhupada, because when I first joined the Boston Temple, devotees told me that Srila Prabhupada's eyes were always wet with tears of love for Krishna. So, at that festival, Krishnadas Kaviraja's brother committed an offense against Minakatan Ram Das. He didn't show him any respect. And his brother, he had faith in Lord Chaitanya, but he didn't have faith in Lord Nityananda. I mean, externally, Lord Chaitanya was acting like a perfect sannyasi. But Nityananda Prabhu was like avadut, means like beyond the regulative principles. He didn't follow the norms of a renunciate. So that brother had faith in Lord Chaitanya, but not in Nityananda. And so afterwards, Krishnadas Kaviraj rebuked his brother. And he said that Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are like one soul in two bodies. He said it would be better to be an atheist and reject both of them than to be a hypocrite and accept one and not the other. And he said it's like the Ardha Kukuti Nyaya, half-hen philosophy. The half-hen philosophy is that, okay, you have a hen, and you think, well, the hind portion is very valuable because that's giving the eggs. But the neck portion is very troublesome because you always have to feed it. So the half-hen logic is, okay, you cut the neck, because that part's a botheration, you have to feed the thing. And you just keep the hind portion and you get the eggs, which is what you want. And of course, when you do that, you lose everything. So Krishnadas Kaviraj invoked that logic with his brother. it's like he's saying, okay, we're going to cut Nityananda Prabhu. We don't like that part, but we'll take Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the, and and then his brother fell down. So that night, Nityananda Prabhu appeared in Krishnadas Kaviraja's dream, which Krishnadas says was because of his good quality in rebuking his brother. So Nityananda Prabhu appeared in his dream. There's a beautiful description of his beauty, him and his associates. And he said, my dear Krishnadas, go to Vrindavan, and there you will achieve all things. So Krishnadas, his sleep broke, he awoke from his dream, and he immediately set out for Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, everything that Nityananda Prabhu said came true. He achieved all things. He got the mercy of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. He got the shelter of the deities, Madan Mohan, Gopinath, and Govinda. He got everything. And I take that as an instruction for us. Of course, Nityananda Prabhu may not appear to us in a dream and give us instructions, but he's the original spiritual master. And if we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and his representatives, then we will achieve all things. And just the fact that we're here shows how far we've come by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And to show our, appreciation and gratitude for them, we should share what we've gotten from them. In one talk, Srila Prabhupada said that in order to approach Radha and Krishna, that's generally our goal as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, in order to approach Radha and Krishna, you need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And in order to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And in order to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you have to approach people like Jagai and Madhai. In other words, we have to be ready, go out on the street or wherever. I mean, you don't have to go on the street. You can find them in the universities. You can find them in the... try to extend that mercy to them. So we have a few minutes. I'll end here. And of course, I must say that the method they came to give was the chanting of the holy names. So please chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So now, we do have a few minutes if anyone has any questions or comments. Yes, Archita Prabhu. Oh, yes. Yes, it was true. Yeah. I mean, I saw that. Yeah. I mean, later on, when, he would engage us in service. So when he was giving instructions, and I wouldn't sit and look at his eyes, but at that early stage when I looked, I did see he did have tears of love for Krishna in his eyes. Any other? Oh yes, oh, there's a few. All right. Okay. Yes. Wait, do we have? Yes, yes.
My question is, can you explain more about it? Or if it's right that we are in Lord Nityananda's age?
Well, we're in Kali Yuga, and that was also something that Lord Nityananda said to Lord Chaitanya when he came to kill Jagai and Madhai. He said, in Kali Yuga, everyone will be sinful, like Jagai and Madhai. Maybe not to the same extent, but they'll be sinful, like Jagai and Madhai. So if you kill them, you'll have to kill everyone. And then what will happen to your mission? So in a way, there's truth to that I wouldn't say we're not in the age of Lord Chaitanya, but I would say we're in the age of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Yes. Yes, someone has to... Archita Prabhu, can you guide where the microphone goes? Okay, Brigupati.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Does it take some time for the mercy of Lord Nityananda or the spiritual master to mature in one's life? Sometimes we see that people have come forward to practice Krishna consciousness, they've taken initiation, they're chanting, they're following the principles, they're even engaging in service to the best of their capacity. But a lot of suffering, on different levels comes their way. So have they not got the mercy, or did they lose the mercy, or how do we understand that?
You're saying someone may engage in devotional service but may externally suffer. Well, that's not, I don't see the problem in that as long as we stay engaged in devotional service. Yeah. I don't think it means they didn't get the mercy. Maybe they're getting more mercy. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I was listening to a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and he was explaining who Lord Nityananda is, and that Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya are one. And he was using a Sanskrit terminology to explain this. I don't remember that, but I do remember him saying that Lord Nityananda exhibits Lord Chaitanya. And I wish I had more reference to give you to try to ask this question, but can you explain what he means by Lord Nityananda? He exhibits Lord Chaitanya.
Well, by his approaching Jagai and Madhai, he gave Lord Chaitanya the chance to exhibit his supreme mercy, which was glorified throughout the universe. There are a couple of more questions. Is it okay to have like a silent arti for a few minutes? In the mood of Lord Nityananda's compassion?
Maharaj, I have a question regarding religious haters. Recently, in Kashmir, 24 soldiers got killed by religious people, other religious haters. So, what should we do with them? Like should we hate them or pray for them or?
I couldn't understand the
No,
question.
like recently in Kashmir, 24 people got killed by
In
terrorists.
where?
In Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Yeah, 24 Indian soldiers got killed by religious. Oh, 42, sorry. 42 soldiers got killed by religious haters. So what should we do them? Like, should we pray for them or
By religious.
haters, like a terrorist?
Oh. Well, what should we do? I mean, what are our options? Considering our limited options, I guess we should pray for them. Thank you. There was someone over. Okay. All right, we can. So thank you all for being so attentive and merciful. And now we will join the beautiful Arti ceremony. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Sri Nityananda Trayodasi ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna.
Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Haskatari Shatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. God Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Hare Thakur Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Hare Thakur Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Tagore Haribo, 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 Haribo. Tagore Haribo, 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 Haribo. Tagore Haribo, 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 Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yo, I'm going to say. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Prabhu Nityananda, Prabhu Nityananda.